recording as of now. We are live. So, Tony, there's Mr. Bob. I was thinking about letting Mr. Bob take the show today. What do you think, Tony?
I'm game with that. Bob Swindle, what's up going on down there in your part of the Texas?
Well, it's a real sacrifice for me to be here today. It's sunny outside. It's mid 70s. It's wonderful, but I'm inside with you guys.
There you
go.
Appreciate
it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Larry's the sunshine right there. Look at that. He's just like having sunshine in the room.
See, you're lucky that we're recording right now, but I'll get you back later, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Now,
Well,
let's go to Billy. Bill.
Hey,
Bill.
Bill.
What you need? What?
Anything. Fake it.
Oh, well, all right. Well, so this week I picked up a really nice wrist rest.
wow, wrist rest. What is that?
Yeah.
Forgive me for asking. I don't know what wrist.
Put it in front of my keyboard.
Oh, okay.
So it gets my hands up elevated a little bit on the keys.
Nice.
And I've got some new pens. So when we get around to showing off pens, I'll show you some of the ones I've gotten.
Good. Tony, did you get a new pen?
No, I haven't gotten anything. I've got, you know what, I'm supposed to go tomorrow to that pen store here in town to look at that Mont Blanc Hemingway.
Yeah.
That I can get for a steal. But I you know, it's a big investment. But I can turn it if I want to, if I make a little money, you know, not that I want to be a pen salesman, but yeah, it's a good enough deal that it's worth buying. And I think it won't go down in value. It'll only go up.
I don't think you would sell it once you get it.
I don't know. And you know, I've got to I'm a little concerned that it's not like pristine condition, because that's probably the reason why he's selling it like this. But I've seen it, but I didn't pay attention to it as closely as I should have.
Oh, it's used?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, it's used. It's a used one.
Okay.
But you know, you can't find them online for less than you know 2,500 to 3,000.
I've been looking at them the other day.
They're expensive. People are. Yeah. I mean, it's just they're rare, I guess.
Well, I was thinking about buying me a couple of 3 new ones.
Oh yeah, you should. You should.
I want to give one to you know who.
Oh, of course. It's in a gift bag. Put it in a gift bag. But anyway, so Bob, it is. I'm glad to know that Texas is back up in the 70s, because you guys went through that cold spell for about a couple of weeks.
Right. It was 90 yesterday.
Oh wow. Well, in May, I'm going down to see my grandson. I got my first grandson, very first time. I'll be in Texas for a week.
Wow.
I'll be in San Antonio.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
So it'll be fun to be down there, and I understand it's warm down that way too.
How long have you been gone?
6 days. 6 days, and I haven't been to San Antonio since I was probably 19 years old. It's been a long time, and I think on the St. Louis Pen meetup that I was just on last night or the night before on Thursday night, one of the gals on there said she had lived in San Antonio, and there used to be pen stores down there, but I don't think any more pen stores down in San Antonio. Probably Drum Google and Houston is probably the only pen store that I know of in Texas that I know of.
Okay.
You can help me. Is there any in Dallas, Larry?
Pen stores, yeah. There's Mont Blanc pen store in Dallas.
Oh well, that's
it.
I mean, that's not.
And on the suburbs there in Plano, there is Fountain Pen Revolution.
Oh really? They have a store, a brick and mortar store?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. I thought they were only India. I thought they only shipped from overseas.
Nope.
Well, you know, when I speak to Kevin, here's how it's all set up. The pens are made in India, but through his specifications.
Oh, I see.
How he wants them. Yep. So, and then if you're going to come a certain day, to call him to make sure he's going to be there, because he's not always there. So, but he will open the store for you.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Let's go ahead and start doing the pen thing, and we'll let Billy Boy start it off. Mr. Bill, sir.
All right. Well, I'll start off with an actual ballpoint rollerball holder. This is one of the Sunderkin Mark Ones, and this is a really, really nice holder. It comes with a G2.
Oh, nice.
And it's really, really well engineered, very tight tolerances on the threads. It'll hold a G2. It'll also take a Mont Blanc drop-in roller ball. It's screwed in for that. He also, I think, is going to be coming out with some spacers that you can put other types of refills in it. So that's the ballpoint roller ball that I have. I picked this up. It's actually been sitting on my desk for a couple of weeks. I finally inked it up the other day. This is a Momento Zero Grande Pura,
Wow.
and it's absolutely gorgeous. The finish on it is fantastic. I call it my ghost pen. Currently, I think in this I have Ackerman number 5. So I picked it up with a gold nib because this pen I think kind of deserves having a gold nib for that. Last weekend on Saturday, late Saturday, I ordered this from England. This is an Onoto. This is the Magna Classic chased, and I had them add the extra brass weight on the inside to give it just a little bit more heft to it. Fantastic pen. It's
What
just
size nib?
gorgeous. Huh?
What size nib?
So Onoto does their own sizes. This is a number 7.
Well, okay.
And I got the gold one for this, but I'm going to order another one of these. But I'll get the black chased version, but I'll get stainless steel with that one because you can swap the nibs around.
So a couple of questions real quick. Is that a broad, medium, or fine? And is it a friction fit or twist out?
So this nib is a fine, and I had them apply a stub grind to it. So it has a nice little bit of variation, but it's not over the hill. It's a screw-in nib assembly, so I can swap it between pens with no problem. If you do get the brass insert, you can't get their vacuum filler cartridge that you can get with it. But that vacuum cartridge is $300. So yeah, my eyes did exactly the same thing, Larry. They popped open. I said, yeah, I'm not going to go for that first time around. What
exactly is that cartridge, what you said, the vacuum fill, whatever?
So it's just like getting, say, a TWSBI 700R.
Okay.
So you just pull it back, dip the whole assembly in, and just press it down.
I got it. So the backfill.
Is that a gold nib?
Excuse me?
Is that a gold nib?
Yes, it is.
So if you don't mind me asking, are they high end?
Yeah, I think the price on their gold nib is a little bit north of 200. I'd have to actually look at the list. I don't remember. I'd been saving up for this pen, so once I hit the money that I needed for it, I really didn't pay that close of attention to it. The price for this was about 800.
Okay. Wow. Nice.
Ooh. Hey, Tony, let me borrow some money, Tony, my brother. I'll pay you.
It's on the way.
Thank you.
The other one that I just received today has not been inked yet, but is going to be a test pen for a lot of things. Is the new pen that Ian Sean just came out with.
Oh yeah.
This is the Ultim, and it is eyedropperable. It has, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there is one red O-ring in here for the cap. Then there are 2 up here on the section, and then there's one down here between the section and the barrel, in the body of the pen. It does have a standard converter in it. He has been testing this as an eyedropper and has had very good success with it. And because of how tight and how solidly the thing closes, he's had no issues with burping.
Wow.
So the other thing that's really impressive with this is, number one, this thing is extremely light. If you give me a few minutes, I can probably get you a weight on it. I'll have to go find my scale for it. But this thing is extremely light.
It doesn't appear to be a pocket pen, though. That's not a pocket pen.
It's not a pocket pen. This is his first full-size pen.
And is it postable?
It is. I don't generally post the pens, but it is postable, but it does not post deep.
Okay.
All right. But because of the O-ring, it is a secure post.
Oh, wow.
Okay. The other thing about this is he has been testing it with, of all inks, Bay State Blue.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And so what he did is he took the section and immersed it in Bay State Blue. And on his Instagram video, when he was talking about it, at that point, it had been sitting in Bay State Blue for 4 days. He's doing a 2-week test with it. And during the video, at first he wasn't going to do it. He says, oh, what the heck? I'll go ahead and do it now. He pulled the section out. Of course, it was blue as it could be, rinsed it off in water. That didn't quite get all the blue out of it. And he used isopropyl alcohol, 99%, to clean the rest of it. And it cleaned it with no problem. Ultimism, it does not react with isopropyl alcohol. It does, however, react with Windex. So Windex is contraindicated for this pen. But alcohol is fine for cleaning. And that's all he had to use to get the Bay State Blue out of it.
Wow.
So
What is that material?
It's called Ultim.
Ultim.
Yeah, and it doesn't come in any other color than this, to the best of my knowledge. This is the color that both Kasama and Ian Schoen are using. It's the same material.
It's almost like a pale yellow, like an amber.
Yeah, it's kind of like an amber.
Yeah,
it's a pale
pretty.
yellow.
It's a pretty color. It's a pretty pen.
It is, and like I say, this is extremely lightweight. So I'm hoping to get some writing time with it this week. I'm actually going to order the first Bay State Blue I've ever had, just to test it out with it. I've been curious about the color, but I've been scared to put it in anything.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's it for me for pens.
Well, I got some questions for you guys, and I see what your input is. Why do you think that the cost of fountain pens are so high? They just keep going and going and going and up. And I've been curious, and let's go back down to Lumby for a minute. You know, All-Star or a Safari, I think you pay enough for it, but then you have to pay for the darn converter as well. Why don't they include the converter?
Capitalism.
Yeah. Because they can. That's why.
Yeah, that's the reason why pen prices are going up, is because of capitalism. The market will bear the cost, and therefore the costs go up. At some point, the market will stop allowing that to happen. People will say, I'm not paying this much anymore.
Right. He's absolutely right. There'll be a point where the people will stop paying and the prices will come down. Yeah. Because I've noticed this. I'll tell you where you notice it. I bought that Penider Back to the Future pen. I don't know if you remember me showing you that. Yeah. What I paid for it was about $300 less than the retail price. And then I just noticed on Chatterley that it was listed for $390. I mean, which is about $100 less than I paid. Yeah. And so I thought, wow. I mean, and that's what happens if they don't move. It's going to bring that price down. But stuff that's and I think part of the problem is this supply chain of items. Getting the materials to make the stuff is getting harder and harder, and the cost of materials are going up. I can tell you that from the business that I'm in. My job is selling tents. I know when we buy aluminum, we buy the vinyl. The company is now all those prices. We just raised our prices 10% above across the board. Not because we're trying to make more money, because everything was costing us more money and we were losing. So, yeah, I think it's a lot of everything. And I mean, obviously, if you have an opportunity to if the market bears it and you can get a higher price, you're going to sell it. You're going to raise your price. Yeah. And eventually it'll level out. But you're right, Larry. Everything is going up. I think we all agree on that.
Let me ask Bob a question. Bob, do you have any new pens? Do you buy the new pens, or do you just stick with the vintage older pens?
I do not have any new pens. I periodically buy new pens, not high-end pens. I love vintage pens. The last pen I've been using is an old Schaefer that I dug up, and I have no idea what model it is or anything. It's got a black dot on the clip, and it's brushed metal. Nothing spectacular, but I've had it forever. So I have no idea, but I love it.
Do you have, I'm sure you do, Parker 51s?
Yes.
Love them. I have not quite a few. I think I have 3 or 4 that are gold nib, but I love the Parker 51.
Yeah.
Fan of them.
The old ones. The old ones.
Yeah,
The old ones.
Yeah,
The old ones, yeah. And I've got 21, and I have a 61, which is a odd duck, but the body's the body's broken on it, and I've got to see if I can find somebody to repair it.
I believe I have a 45. Is there 21 kind of comes?
Yes.
Yeah, I got that, and I have to look up the rest of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Someone gave me a 45 as a, I don't know, one of my pen pals. He's not, we've not written to each other for a long time, but he gave me that as a gift, and I appreciate it. Then I got a gift, a Parker 51 from my son's fiance. Her grandfather, it was his pen, and she gave it to me. I took it over to the gal here in town that does the repairs, Cheryl. She's at the pen shows, Cheryl and Joel Hamilton. They're brother and sisters. And so she did the repair on that nib and got it to writing really good. And yeah, they're great. They were the standard for everyday use, weren't they? For a long time, those Parker 51s.
Bill, you got something?
Yeah, I just want, you were talking about vintage pens. I've got a Parker 51 coming in probably one day next week. Amazingly enough, I didn't have a Parker 51 in my collection. I had some Wing Sungs, but I wanted to get an actual Parker 51. But I've been using this older pen for a few weeks, an Aurora 88.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
This is a fantastic pen. If you get an opportunity to get one of these, I recommend it. It's a piston fill. This one I may have to do a heat treatment in order to get the section off of it, because I really want to take the thing apart to do a good cleaning. But this pen it's a beautiful writer. It is really, really nice.
Yeah, is that a hooded nib or an inlaid?
How do you pronounce that?
Yep, it's a hooded nib, partially.
Yeah. That is a vintage, because I think some of the Aurora 88s now are not.
Yeah, this one is, they actually had serial numbers on there, and the serial number for this is like 700,000. So it was early in the production runs. And I've got one that I won the eBay auction on that's got a serial number in 400,000. So it's a little bit older than this one is.
Wow.
But yeah, the vintage pens are well worth looking at. It's an excellent thing to get into. It's amazing. I mean, these pens are, easily 60, 70 years old, 100 years old if you're going into some of the Parkers, the early ones. Absolutely well worth the money, and it's worth having in your collection writing with.
I agree. Go ahead, Larry. I know you got that.
I got a question. I've got a Marlin. It's a vintage Marlin with a gold nib, and it's a hooded nib. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but
yeah,
I cannot get the grip section off. I haven't used it in years. Like, it froze on, and it's on there real tight. And I just
is it a piston? Is it a piston, or is it a
converter?
Oh, so you can't even fill it. You can't even fill it, can you?
I can't take it off. Yeah.
That's odd.
That's the first thing that's ever done. No, it's not a piston filler. It's a cartridge. Yeah.
Have you tried to put it in an ultrasonic? Have you put it in an ultrasonic cleaner?
Yeah, I've done that already. Yeah, I put some heat on it. I can't. Unless I get rubber pliers and put one on the end and the other and then twist it.
I wouldn't try that though, Larry.
So maybe send it to a Penmeister or something?
Yep. That's what I would do.
Now, this is a great pen, and I don't want to mess it up. I forgot. It came out in the 70s, I think. Yeah, it did come out in the 70s. And beautiful gold nib on it, and I do not want to mess this pen up. So I think that's what I'll do. Hey, in fact, Tony, what is that girl's name that came on here once? She does nibs.
Lisa. It's Lisa Saavedra. She works with Mark Backus.
Now, could she do anything like this?
Well, Mark is a nib master. He does grinds and all of that. I don't know about repairs and that kind of thing. I would assume he would know how, but there are people in the business, and I don't know a lot of them, that do repairs. Like Joel Hamilton could probably get that taken apart for you.
Joel Hamilton.
Joel. Yeah, they've done the Dallas show before. It's he and his sister Cheryl Tyree. They have they're called the Ink Pen. Ink Pen is what they're called, their company, and they're black brother and sister. They're black. That's how I only say that, because that might be recognizable.
He normally wears a blue chambray shirt.
Right.
And I've bought pens from him several times, and
nice man.
She's the I've heard she's the queen of Schaefer, I think is what I've heard it
Yep.
described as. I have been meaning to ask, do you think that they would be good candidates to have on one of these interviews that where we can interview them?
I think that would be awesome to have them on here.
Who are we talking about?
Joel Hamilton. I just was on the phone with him yesterday because he's going to do on the St. Louis Pen Show. He's going to do a virtual pen repair video thing and explanation on pen repair.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Larry, I've mentioned him to you before, and you just don't remember. I mean, he's kind of like been over by where where the Andersons have been. Like their Andersons are the right end, and Joel and Cheryl are over at the left end. And I can kind of picture right where they're at in the Dallas Pen Show, but it just doesn't ring a bell with you before when I've tried to describe that. So I think we'd be interesting to see if we could get them on here.
Hey, Frank, I think Dan is trying to get in.
Oh, okay. I will admit that. Thank you for bringing that out. I've been watching.
No but yeah, back to the vintage. Hey, Dan, great to have you.
Good to see you guys.
Back to the vintage. Bill, the reason and Bob, I have only a few. I've got about 4 or 5 Esterbrook J pens, and I've got a Columbus pen, a 1912 Columbus pen, or I think it was a 92. Excuse me, and I love it. It's a button filler. I love it, but it's really small. I got to post it, and it's real narrow. But I've got the big meat hooks. So my deal is with most vintage pens, at least the ones I've come across, unless they're oversized, they're almost too narrow for me. So I need something a little bit. Do you know of the oversized pens? Like I was thinking maybe a Schaefer pen for men, PFM would be a nice size pen to write with.
Pen.
Good
I have one of those. It's a nice pen. It fits well. Hold it. If you give me a second, I'll go get it and you can get a size comparison.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Dan, how are things with you?
Thank you. Sorry I'm late, guys. Better
That's
late
okay.
than never, I guess.
Well, long time no see. 2 days.
Yeah. Are you saying that vintage pens are usually too small for you or too big for you?
Too small.
Too small.
Yeah.
Dan Tony has gorilla hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Meat hooks.
Meat hooks. I don't know how to say it.
What about your Omos pens, Tony? They're not.
Well, actually, my Omos Ogiva is really too narrow. It's really a small. I've got a set of the Milord and their matching set, and they're extra fine nibs that are the best extra fine nibs I've ever written with. But they are very small. They're very narrow, and I got to post them. And they're the smaller ones. But no, my other Omos, like my Paragons, they're normal size pens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a real hard time with really skinny pens.
Yeah.
They're
you
not
wouldn't want my
comfortable.
cross pen.
I've got 2 cross. I've got a cross Bailey, and I've got 2 cross Peerless. Now the Peerless are a big pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love them. I love them.
This is a vintage Van Gogh with a gold nib. And next to the Omos, it's considerably bigger, and it fits my hand beautifully. Now, I don't have big hands, but...
Right. Yeah, but that isn't really vintage. I wouldn't call that the one in your hand. No, because they didn't... they started making pens Visconti in 1990, 1990s.
Yeah.
So they call it a vintage because it's an older Visconti.
Yeah, but
but
they
not compared to that other pen.
They don't make Van Goghs with gold nibs every day, though. I've never seen any.
No, that's true. No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love writing with that thing.
So,
Good.
Bill,
I'm glad to see one other person that loves a Visconti.
So, Tony, if you want a size comparison, this is a size comparison between a Parker duofold from like 1926 for this one, and then your Pen for Men's in the middle, and then the J. Esterbrook is on the end.
Oh, okay, so PFM's in the middle. Is that duofold the same size as the current duofold Centennial?
Well,
I've got a big red Centennial. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I've got one. Give me a second.
Well, you never usually, Larry, am I wrong? Bill's never usually this active pulling out pens, is he? When we normally get together,
he hardly even talked. Just
he's a ringer. He's a ringer.
All right.
no,
So
Tony, he's a player.
here's the vintage, and here's a recent one. So the current dual is just a little bit shorter.
Okay. Oh, the current, and it's also got that big long clip on it compared to the.
Yes, and the clip doesn't have the ball in the end like the vintage has.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
And if you want to see a size, if you want to see a size comparison uncapped, in the same order, if I can keep them straight. Yeah, come on. Turn around and profile your nibs, man.
There you go. Oh, wow.
So you can see where it fits in the different sizes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Schaefer, I bet, those Schaefer nibs have always written really well. You know, those Schaefer gold nibs.
Yeah.
You want a small pen? You should grab a hold of this thing. You might have one of these. This is the Mont Blanc 122.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
talk about a tiny little pen.
Yeah.
I love it. It is so fun to write with.
Yeah.
It's like an extra fine. It's the finest thing I have.
Is it a cartridge or is it a converter or is it?
It's a filler. It's a cartridge fill. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, so if you want a big pen, Tony.
Oh my gosh! Look at that! Are you serious?
Can you hold that one?
Is that a fat boy? Is that one of those fat boys?
Yep. This is a giant pen, Japanese, maybe the 1920s or 30s. It's eyedropper fill.
Holds a half gallon of ink.
Yeah.
I know. You have to buy it in the quart bottles.
Yep. Huge number of threads.
Oh, wow.
You got a little bit of a valve control with it. But
that would be fun.
I saw this up on a bid on eBay, and I had seen a video with Anderson Pens, and he pulled one of these out. And when I saw that, I was like, well, I want to get one of those. And when this came up on eBay, it was not even a thought. It's like, I got to have that.
So have you ever inked it and written with it?
I have not. I need to do some work on it. The nib is not in the best of conditions.
Okay.
All right. So the nib needs some work done on it. But
it looks like an ebonite feed.
Huh?
It looks like an ebonite feed as well on there, is it?
Yes. And it's a smooth bottom feed. So before I can do any work, I've got to get the assembly out of the section. And for that, I think I'm going to have to apply some heat and maybe use a knockout block to try and push that assembly out. But it's
fascinating. I had never seen it like that.
Yeah. I took this to work and had a lot of fun with people. I said, I got a pen for you. And I pulled this out in a little office area where I sit. And they all look at it, it's like, oh my God.
and what's crazy is that number 6 nib on there, probably, and it looks like it just looks tiny. I mean, obviously, because
maybe a 5 on that one.
But I would say it's probably between a 5 and a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once I get work done on it, I'll show it next time once I got the nib fixed.
Yeah.
Either Larry or Larry 10.
Yeah, Larry 10.
Yeah. So just to give you an idea about
Larry
some of my pens that is Yost here? I thought maybe some of the pens that are comfortable for me in my hand, just to give you an idea about what we're talking about. This is a Visconti Opera Master in that tobacco, the amber.
Yeah.
And this is an old one. This is not one. They came back out with another model of this with this resin, but it wasn't the same. I can assure you, it looks way different. Yeah, when I saw Stephen Brown, yeah, I've got one of those, Larry. And Stephen Brown was talking about this is one of his favorite pens. And that's why I bought it, because I kept thinking, man, he really talks his pen up a lot. And I found it on Bertram's Inkwell. I got it from Bertram. I got that pen from him. Another one is this big old monster.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Il Magnifico. This is lapis lazuli right here. This is lapis, and it's heavy. It is really heavy. I don't have a scale here, but probably 60 grams or more. So that one, and then probably my favorite ergonomic pen, meaning it's the most comfortable in my hand. Now, these other ones are fun and they're comfortable to write with, but the one that feels the best of all my pens is this. It's the Divina. It's the Visconti Divina.
Yeah.
And when I have this thing in my hand, it's extremely comfortable.
Dan has one.
Yep, it's a comfortable pen for me. It's just, and I mentioned this on the St. Louis. When I was on the St. Louis meetup, Dan will attest, he'll confirm this. And we were talking about pens, and all of a sudden I said, we brought up the pen brands that we like, and I said, well, I've got a bunch of Visconti, and everyone looked like I just said I like eating dog poop. I was like, what in the what? Am I right, Dan? Am I right? Did they look at me like no one had a good word
pens.
There was like 15 or 20 people on there. No one had a good thing to say about Visconti. And they, no, not many of them. No, they, the nibs are bad. They're inconsistent, the quality control. And yes, they're right. There had some quality control. But then again, I've had other pens that have had issues with nibs and issues with other things. So, but I've never had a problem with one Visconti. Very first pen I got was a Van Gogh with a steel nib, and it hard started. It was one of the very first high-end pens I got. It was like maybe $100 or $200. It was an expensive pen for me at that time. And I thought, and it hard started, and I was really not happy. And I thought, this can't be right. And I worked on it and got it to write really good. But honestly, it was that steel nib that was the problem. But ever since then, I think I've got 36 now, and all of them, I don't have a problem, not with one of them, unless I dropped it. That'll cause a problem. You drop a pen, and it goes, invariably, it always goes nib first, doesn't it?
Now, Tony, you said that you like the Visconti, was it the Fashion, did you call it?
No, the Divina.
The Divina, yeah. You like that the best, but both of these pens, the Opera Master and the Divina, both have those ridges. The Divina's got the twist, and then is that how you like the feel of it? Because I like a tactile feel on my pens. Here's another pen I love, and they don't make them anymore. I bought, and this guy's down in Texas. It's called the Tactile Turn. They did and I got this one. I love this pen. I love it. It's got ridges. I mean, it's been grooved, turned, and there's grooves. I don't know if you can see this really well, but you see that?
Is that just like a record? It's one groove.
Yeah, correct. And then I got the Damascus steel section and the finial Damascus steel is really not. I love it. But
they're great pens.
They are great, but he doesn't make them anymore. And when he did, now I'm talking about the fountains.
Now, I think I've heard that you can ask, but I don't think he has them in regular production.
Right.
They stopped making them.
His name is Will Hodges, but not the Will Hodges that joins our.
Right. Yeah, I got one too, but didn't they stop making them?
Well, on a regular basis, they did. Yeah.
Right.
Like you said, and it's not part of the regular production, and he's a nice guy. Yeah. I met him at a pen show in LA, and he's just a nice guy. But the point is, it's tactile. You feel those grooves in your hand, and so that's another reason I love overlay pens with an overlay. This pen right here is called, and I got to tell you a funny story about this pen. This is a Visconti. It's called a Romanica. So they have like the Roman portals. Right. That's what these are, and it's a wonderful pen. When I saw it online, I asked the lady who was selling it. I bid on it, and I asked her, I made her an offer, and she agreed to it. And I said, "Why are you selling this pen?" Well, she said, "No, I got these pens in the divorce, and I love nothing better than to sell my ex-husband's pens off
for less than what they're worth."
It was revenge sale. It's a revenge sale, and you can only imagine. Can you imagine having to go through a divorce and giving up all your pens to your ex-wife. That wouldn't probably
Hey.
never.
Yeah.
I'd freak.
So, no, that's not good. That's why I'm still single. I don't want to give up half of my stuff.
And all we got
Oh,
is
well.
a fountain pen. That's it.
That's all I've got anyway. That's all I got.
Wow.
Funny.
Mm.
That's funny. So,
So
Dan, how are these flying squirrels, Dan?
Oh, they're still flying. They're I can't begin to tell you how cool it is that when I go out in the yard, I walk up to the tree and I whistle for them, you know. And I look up and I see a little one just wiggling up a tree, and pretty soon it goes whoosh, and sticks to the tree right by my head. And he runs down and he checks the tray, and I've got the seeds in my hand, you know, and I pour them in, and he grabs a seed and he sits right beside me and just eats it and looks at me while he's eating it. I'm going, this is too cool.
Didn't you say you fed one out of your hand?
Oh yeah, they're starting to eat out of my hand. I've tried holding a seed, and they just kind of not too sure. So I have a cap, and I fill it full of seeds, and I hold it up, and they eat out of the cap. But the last couple of times, they go up to the cap, and they go around. They're wanting to touch my finger, and I'm kind of jerking it away. I don't want to get bitten. But I'm going to have. They're going to be landing on me. I'm telling you what. You wouldn't believe how they just come right. I can feel the air on my head when they go by.
Hey, Bob, do they have flying squirrels down there in Texas?
Not that I know of.
not that I know of.
Or not? No, you're not saying.
I have some squirrels that love my bird feeder, but they don't fly. They climb.
Yeah. Hey, that reminds me, Dan. You know that this whole story about how you're befriending these flying squirrels. Do you ever remember a movie? I don't know if you all remember this movie from back in the day. It had Ernest Borgnine was was one of the main characters, but the show was called Willard.
Yeah,
It was called Willard.
Rat Man.
The rat. Yeah, remember he had the rat. He
That's
became friends with the rat, and
I'm more like, it's more like the birds. You
yes,
know?
Yeah,
yes.
good one.
It's the bird. When 50 flying squirrels come out of nowhere and converge on you, and I mean they're just flying back and forth, and it's
There are flying squirrels in East Texas. Mr. Announcer just found it.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
cool. Hang on, did I show you what they do with nuts? Did I show you
Yeah,
that?
you showed me, but you haven't shown them.
Okay, hang on a second.
Well, my squirrels eat like a king and queen here.
Good. Yeah. Well, okay. I was reading somewhere how do you can tell if you've got flying squirrels, right? And there's a couple tests to see, but one of them was that if you have like hickory nuts or tree nut, they love tree nuts. This is a little bowl full of these. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah.
They'll go in and they'll take a nut, and they make a little circle around. And if you were close enough, a little bitty nibble marks all the way around. And there they were on the ground all around my hickory tree. I said, I've got them.
So if they're nibbling through those nuts there, they virtually could bite you.
That's why I'm a little concerned about them. Now, here's the situation. I've already overrun with them. This food is kind of expensive that I'm feeding them. And I'm thinning it out with sunflower seeds and stuff. But and now I've got them coming from all over the place. The words got out. And
they sent a message to all their friends. They said,
Yeah.
Dan Roseberry has got free
making
lunch.
new friends. That's the problem. They are having squirrel sex on my tree. I mean, they do everything fast. I mean, they, and they do that too really fast.
Apparently.
They're chasing each other around from tree to tree. The girl squirrel, and the little guy squirrel.
Yeah, my ex.
And now they're actually doing it on the tree.
Yeah, my girlfriend told me I'm her 62nd lover, and I said, "Oh, you had 61 before me? What was that all about?" Okay, anyway, that's a joke. That's
Not much of one, but yeah.
no, not one.
Yeah.
But it's nutty. I tell people that I got flying squirrels, and they look at me like, "Your squirrels fly?" Yeah. And I don't think people realize they're not just Rocky and Bullwinkle. They're
Right.
really,
Right.
they're all over. People just don't know it.
But like you said, they don't actually fly; they glide because they have to climb up to a top and then they
Right.
just jump off and
Right.
glide.
They generally go way up to the top, and right now there's no leaves on the trees, and so I can see them. It's like almost dark, but I can see the silhouettes, and I can see this little tiny tail up in the air, and they're wiggle, 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 running up to the top of the tree, and then pretty soon, and then there they are, and you go, whoa, right by you. It's really cool.
Are
I've
they
named them too, some of them.
are they herbivores for the most part, or do they swoop and catch maybe like worms or other items? Maybe that's why that's just I don't know.
They will eat. I know they eat like mealworms, dried mealworms. I've read that they will actually. They're not carnivores, but they will eat like a dead animal. They'll eat sometimes a little bit of that. They'll eat mushrooms. They like mushrooms, mainly tree nuts, but they'll eat like dead insects and stuff like that. Maybe live insects.
Well, on my squirrels, I always get them pecans and different chestnuts, and they like all that.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even buy myself pecans. You're feeding them to the squirrel. Darn it!
Real.
That's a pecans are
Buy
expensive.
about 4 bags of pecans, and they're wow. But yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and bags of peanuts. We buy them peanuts and
Oh
shells.
yeah, they like
Okay,
You know,
so-
we get big giant bags of feed for them. Did big giant bags of corn on the cobs. These guys eat royalty. Then when I go outside, I banged a little tub. Yeah, come on, God, you hear? And here the guy across the street next door. Yep.
Oh. Larry, if you see a 250-pound squirrel showing up on your door, you know I'm after those pecans.
Well, look, I used to have one squirrel that he wasn't scared of me. When I came outside, I had a peanut. He wouldn't run. I'd hand it to him. He'd pick it up and eat it. Yep. And then we got the ducks, Mr. and Miss Duck. We have to give them on the ground. And then they brought their friends. I think I told you all about that. They came to the door, peck, 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 and they wanted food. So we went out and gave them their food.
Yeah. Now that turtle of yours, he doesn't seem to be eating much, Larry.
Oh,
Your
you don't think so?
Your turtle doesn't seem to be eating much.
Not growing at all.
No, he just sits. He's not eating.
He has a very slow metabolism.
Well,
I got a family of bluebirds that eat a lot,
Yeah.
and only one red bird.
Really. You know, the state bird in Illinois is the cardinal. That's the state bird. Yeah.
And we used to have woodpeckers here in Fort Worth, but I haven't seen or heard one in decades.
Yeah. We got a lot of them too.
Okay, guys, well, we're fixing to wrap it up. Hey, thanks for joining me. Sorry about you couldn't make it, but hopefully she had her baby. His
all right.
kid,
That'd be awesome.
and I'll try to get a hold of them this week and see what's up and give you all the
Reschedule.
news. And what else before I go? Don't forget, let's see, Frank will be going. Well, he's at the mall. Yeah, right now. Right, yeah. And then he has his first show. Remember when?
A couple of weeks, I
In a
think.
couple of weeks, I think he'll have his first show. So they're opening up. Dallas will open up. But I don't know how many people they're going to allow in the show.
Yeah, Larry, if you get a chance, maybe you might ask Frank if while he's at the show, maybe when it's slow, we can do he can do his brother Mark can hold the phone and do like a little Zoom just to show us what he's got on the table and
Yeah.
just a thought. I don't know.
No. Yeah, talk to him later today because they close, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah.
No. Is that tomorrow they close?
They'll be open tomorrow, but pack up on Monday.
Oh, you mean at the mall?
No, I'm talking about at the show.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll get it done. Yeah,
Maybe Mark will walk around with the phone and
because he's already done that at the mall, and he has a whole bunch of stuff, more than that's listed. This guy has stuff on stuff. He can take like 4 big tables worth. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. Later, and I'll check you later. Have a good jam tonight, Tony. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much, Larry. You all have a good day. Have a good weekend.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'll send you that. Bye.
Okay.